look at what we're doing, expect some constructive criticism from you. We'll have a better understanding of how to do our work better, and also for you to have a better understanding of how to import some of the things we're doing, because it's also our duty to be accountable to the public. It's become practically impossible for me to address media every day. That's why you don't see me in media houses. I'd rather do this work. Occasionally like this, I engage with you. I'd like to first salute your commitment to this crusade. 6 months ago when I assumed office, it's not everybody that came for solidarity with us that is still standing. I tell you, just in 6 months. New people called me, we are going to bring out dagger and cutlass and ballistic missile and kill corruption and all of that. But suddenly, a few days ago, we see them campaigning for criminal suspects. So that's why I said I want to salute you. It takes a lot to stand when it comes to the issue. It takes a lot. I can tell you that it takes a lot. I just came from the National Judicial Institute, where I went to address some judges of Federal High Court and Court of Appeal on some critical issues, and presented the paper, their training. And as I was trying to present my paper, I discovered that even though my system, my font size was almost 14 and a half or 15, I discovered I wasn't really seeing very clearly. So I had to bring out my glasses. So one of the judges who saw me there, judges of Court of Appeal, just because he knew me, he had known me, we have known each other for over 20 years. I told them for the first 50 years of my life, I never wore glasses. But in the last 6 months, I've been forced to be using glasses. I got to my barber recently. He looked at my hair. He said, "Oh, God, what's wrong with you? You started growing gray hair." And I said, yeah, that is the nature of the work we do. And unfortunately, with all the commitments and all of that, some people will still either deliberately refuse to understand what we are doing, or don't just understand for some personal interest. So the essence of this engagement is for us to clarify a few issues, to let you know some of the things we're doing, and also clarify a few issues out there. It's so disturbing, quite disturbing, that a lot of the things you read about our investigation and prosecution, there are quite a number of it are far from the truth. Far. And sometimes I sit down and I listen to TV commentators, people talking on TV and the commentaries, and I begin to wonder, where did they get these stories from? And somebody will be telling us, because you are not giving us stories. How do I give you stories? Do you look for the stories? Will I be going from one media house to another to be sharing stories? No. As media, as civil society, you work with us. We need to collaborate. And that's what we have discovered in this job, for you to do what, because you see, everything you say as a civil society, practitioners, as media men, people believe you. And people run with it. And so it's extremely important for us to be very careful about what we say, particularly those of us who make commentaries on TVs. There are some of these programs that I must be listening to before I leave my house. For example, the AIT, Kakaki. I don't miss it every day, except I have to get to office before 7. Occasionally, if I'm chanced, I listen to TVC. Journalist hangout. I don't normally do it in the evening, but when I get around 11, if I'm home on time, I listen to it, the repeat section. And I discovered that some of the things people say on some of these programs are not even correct in the first place. And these are the people that, are able to convince the mind of the public. So it's extremely important for us. Maybe before we leave this place today, we need to find a way. Because you must also understand that it's not everything we do that is expedient for us to put out there, because of the sensitive nature of our work. So maybe before you leave, after my address, after the engagement, we just find probably a way of working together, in a way that you will understand what we're doing, so that before you go out there, at least have a bit of understanding of what we do so that you know what to take out to the public. So on this note, once again, I want to thank you very much for coming. First of all, I'd like to brief you about a few innovations we have brought in, and also some restructuring that has taken place in the EFCC. I want to talk to you about three main things. Number one, the restructuring agenda we have embarked on, and that is the ongoing as well. And number two, development in certain sectors of our economy. And number three, the current, prosecution of Yahaya Bello. I woke up this morning and I went to bed around 3 a.m. I struggled to stand up around 5 a.m. when I wanted to prepare for work. So I sat on my bed trying to ruminate over what is going on and my schedule for the day. A proverb came to my mind, and I want to encourage you with that proverb. The elders have a saying in my place. You know a ram. A ram usually have a big scrotum. You know a ram? You've eaten ram before. With testicles in the scrotum, always big. And anytime the ram is moving around or running, you will feel that the scrotum is going to cut off. Because sometimes whether it is the ram that is shaking the scrotum or the scrotum that is shaking the ram, you can't tell. But for years, you will see that pendulum dangling. It will swing, it will dang, but it will never cut off. So EFCC, we will receive all the attacks and all of that, but we are not going to give up. We will do this work. This pendulum will not cut. It doesn't matter who is attacking us. We have this mandate. We will continue to do it until you are asked to stay off the stage. So I've been asked to see areas where we need to moderate things, we need to tell you not to report. But you know there is nothing you will tell. What you don't want them to report, don't tell them. So I won't tell them what I don't want them to report. I know them. If you say don't want to report it, they will report it. So they are my people. We know ourselves. Thank you very much. On first note, we have embarked on some restructuring. Because we must understand the war against corruption is not the amount of investigation I do out there. We must understand this thing. And as a nation, we must come together to agree, at least for once. Let us move forward. Let us get out of this mess for once. But it's like, as much as we plead with people to see the reason why we need to come together and fight this battle, the more difficult things become. As if people don't even understand. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If EFCC fails, I've not failed, though. I've never failed, and I won't fail. It is all of us. It is Nigeria that has failed. If we lose this battle, it's not about Olukoyede. Neither is it about any of my officers here. It's about all of us. Doctor is about you. Shehu is about you. Ogazu is about you. It's about every one of us here. Alaji is about you. So that's why we need to understand what it takes to do this work and what it's going to take for us to work together. I have pledged my commitment. I have pledged my resources, everything I have going for me to do this work. So let us agree on that note first. In as much as we are doing this, of course, it's not everybody that will agree with us. It's not everybody will support us. But if reform-minded, when many Nigerians can come together and say, let us move forward, why can't we? Americans built America. British built Britain. Europeans built Europe. Arabians built Arab. Nigerians will build Nigeria. Few people are dragging us back, are not strong enough to take on all of us here, even within the four corners of this room, if we choose to do the right thing. And that's the only thing I'm going to plead with you for today. So first, we have embarked on some restructuring projects, and few of it, like I was saying, it's not just about all the investigation that we can do in the EFCC or the prosecution we can do or the convictions we can get. It's about the cause of these problems. The same EFCC that everybody is attacking today, they have lost this, they have lost that, they lost Adoke's case and all of that. Some of us have forgotten that the same EFCC had convicted so many governors in the time past. The same EFCC had cause to convict serving senators. The same EFCC had cause to convict ex-ministers. Even judges. That has never happened in this country, not until the advent of EFCC. Judges. Serving judges. We have had cause. When I was chief of staff, when I was secretary. And so it's not about the proficiency of EFCC. It's about the support Nigerians are ready to give EFCC. 1,000 EFCC will not do anything if we don't have your support. That's the truth. And so we have embarked on some reform agenda. We look at what the problem is. The more I investigate people, the more I recover money, the more I prosecute, probably get convictions, the more difficult the war is, and the more the problem grows. So we ask ourselves on this step, what do we do next? What do we do? We said, okay, we are going to attack the source of these problems. For you to solve any problem in life, you must also understand the source of the problem. Investigation, prosecution, and all of that is like reactive. What happens? So I pledged the issue of prevention. I'm going to go into prevention very seriously. And that was all I shared with you the other time you came. I shared my policy directives and objectives with you. And so I'm happy to report to you that we have started in earnest. Now we have created a directorate called Fraud Risk Assessment and Control, in addition to our existing directorates. And we have also, because of the internal cleansing we have embarked on and we are carrying out, we have also changed our Directorate of Internal Affairs to Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. Because he who comes to equity. So hands must be clean. I'm not proud of any operative who indulges in corruption. We can't say you are fighting corruption and you yourself, your hands are soiled. So gradually, I'm not promising that you will not still be seeing one or two elements who will still be doing some inordinate things, that as much as it lies in our power and as much as we discover them, we do something. And I promise them, I'm not just going to arrest you or dismiss you, I will prosecute you. So we have one or two cases we are preparing now. And I'm going to prosecute them, my staff. We are going to do that. And so we have created the Fraud Risk Assessment and Control Department as one of our new initiatives. And what do we do? I spoke about this during the launch of our program at Yahaya Center a couple of months ago, the Interfaith Manual, Teaching Manual, and our prevention program. And I said we are going to start with the villa. Some people went to town and I said I wanted to investigate the president. I said I wanted to investigate the CGN, and some people are even saying they will pray for me, as if I said something new. They wouldn't even understand what I was even talking about. Now, the essence of doing that is for us to look at our systems and processes. Gentlemen, if we don't address the problems with our systems and processes, 1,000 EFCC with 1 million ICPC will not do anything. But when we go, look, countries where they are able to mitigate the effect of corruption, there are countries that understand or put processes in place, block leakages, and things that can deter people from corruption. That is the best and the fastest and the surest way of fighting corruption. And so what we did is to look at our processes. And I said we began with the State House. So when we talk of State House, there is nothing so special there. What we did was so special in terms of the fact that, relating to the fact that it's a place we can't go into. No. We discussed with the president. Said, look, Ola, go and do your work. And we sat here last month. We wrote a letter to the chief of staff. We want to see the processes and procedure involved in your contract and procurement award. And surprisingly, within a week, we received a response. So we are working there now. We are looking at the processes. We went to the National Assembly. We wrote to them, the chairman of the National Assembly Commission. We want to see those vehicles you bought, the constituency projects you have awarded and all of that. What processes and procedures do you follow? And they have, surprisingly, we were obliged. So we are looking into that quietly. We went to the judiciary. We wrote to the CJN. We also copied the Secretary, Federal Judicial Service Commission. And they have obliged us. The regulatory authority, BPP, I wrote a letter to them. One of the areas where people steal money through contracts and procurement is this certificate of no objection. We have discovered that. We have done research and we discovered that. I said I want to see all the contracts, the proposal that led to certificate of award of certificate of no objection for the past 5 years. They have responded. Initially, it was like, no, this thing will take us 1 year to do, and all of that. By the time I sent another letter, I gave them another 7 days. Told them 1 or 2 things we will do if you don't bring us. Don't oblige us. They brought it. We are working on it now. Gentlemen, these are ways to fight corruption. It's not when we start making noise, handing people all over the place. In another 1 year, you will begin to see the effect of some of these measures we are putting in place. It's extremely important for all of us to understand some of these intricacies. Fighting corruption is not just for us to investigate and make noise, like some people want us to do. We have been doing it for years, even though we have recorded some successes, but has it really made much impact as expected? And the answer is no. In fact, it has not made much impact. Why can't we change our strategy? And that's exactly what we are doing now. And so I'm dedicating a whole directorate to undo that. And also we felt it's also important for us to look at some areas that we stimulate the economy. If you remember, that's one of also the policy objectives I shared with you, that we are going to use the instrumentality of anti-corruption to do what? To stimulate the economy. That was how and why we went into the area of currency mutilation, forex malpractices, and all of that. And under 1 month, we began to see the impact of that. I tell you, if we were not involved in the enforcement of some of these laws, you wouldn't have what the benefits we have derived from these forex malpractices and all of that, we wouldn't have gotten there at all. At all. If you go to Zone 4 now, I'm not sure you will see anybody displaying dollar. Some people have taken us to cleaners on the issue of spraying money and all of that. It's not the work of EFCC. It's not the responsibility of EFCC. Go and look at our law very well. I'm a lawyer myself. And I did promise I won't do anything outside the rule of law. What do you understand by economic sabotage? What is the meaning of economic crime? My mandate is not only to investigate financial crimes. The mandate goes as far as investigating the economic crime. As a matter of fact, my law, Section 40, specifically gives me the power to investigate oil bunkering, vandalization of pipelines. I read it very well. That's why we call EFCC a specialized agency. And so we are doing this. Why did we arrest Bobrisky? Why did we? Now, the moment we did that, people started sending videos. 10 years, that video that was recorded 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and all of that. As you start running after that, I said, no, it doesn't work this way. Now everybody has just woken up to the reality, to the fact that this thing is wrong, and we should actually want to identify ourselves with what we're doing. If you are not making impact, people will not be rushing to send videos to us. And they call it, they said, these are the little forces that spoil the vine. If you don't handle those things, if you don't create that economic sanity in the minds of our people or in our environment, you will not get there. There is no nation that is built or thrives on lawlessness. No nation. No matter how trivial you think the law is, we are going to apply it as far as it affects our economy. We are going to do that. And we don't have any apology. If it is not within my mandate, let the court pronounce on that. Anybody who is angry that I'm arresting people who are mutilating our currency, as if that is a word practice, as if that we are taking pride in that, let the person go and challenge that power to investigate and prosecute in court. and let the court tell me I don't have the power to do it, and I will stop immediately. And I said, it's not about me. It's about this country. We cannot afford. What system do we want to be killed to the one coming behind us? I will get there. If you don't start now. So those areas we are going to, Yahoo boys. Some people in fact, not only abusing me, some people have gone as far as abusing my father, who died in 1978, over the fact that I'm investigating Yahoo boys. Let me share a few things with you. Just a few things. Because you see, it's always good to have an understanding. We have been in this thing for a while. I just commissioned a project titled Understanding the Landscape, the Cybercrime Landscape. They've just given me a preliminary report. In 2022 alone, Nigeria faced a staggering onslaught of cybercrime. This thing you call Yahoo Yahoo. Well, you might harassing all these small boys all over the place. It's not small. It's not small. 2022 alone, I'm waiting for the report of 2023. We discovered that more than 71% of Nigerian industries, companies and firms fell victim to cybercrime. More than 71% of these companies you see in Nigeria are operating. Now, which company is happy or will thrive on this kind of a thing? You want to attract foreign direct investment. The moment you come in, Yahoo boys will attack your platform. You start losing money. And you think they will stay? It's beyond what we are seeing. We are rescuing the future of Nigeria by going into this cybercrime investigation and prosecution. Now, I tell you again, within that period, the Nigerian economy lost $706 million. These companies. $706 million to cybercrime. To the activities of these guys, you call Yahoo boys, that we don't take them serious now. Not knowing that we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. And I go further. The alarming statistics continue with Nigerian banks losing over 8 billion naira to electronic transfer fraud in the first 9 months of year 2022. A system that lost over 8 billion to a particular scheme of fraud. And you are saying EFCC should close its eyes to that kind of scheme. Are Nigerians fear on us? Are we even fear on ourselves? I give you another one. As I'm talking to you now, we discovered in almost all the states of Nigeria, all the subnationals, we have what we call the 419 training schools everywhere, where they harvest our children from primary school. They put them, when they leave their regular studies as in primary school, they close at 2 o'clock, they end up in some of these 419 training schools. They start indoctrinating them. These are facts. They first of all ask them, even their parents, to sign an undertaking. After that, they adopt them. Some of these kids start paying their school fees. They get indoctrinated into cybercrime as young as they are. By the time they get to secondary school, that's why you see them 100 level, 200 level, hacking, and you think they just started that way? No. We close our eyes to some of these things. These things started 10, 15 years way back. And we didn't take cognizance of it. We thought all was well with Nigeria. We thought all was well with Nigeria. Go to Nigerian universities. There is no exception. Even the children from wealthy homes are doing it now. It has become a culture. It's a trend. And these are the people you want to bequeath our future into their hands? And we don't know that responsibility is ours as their leaders to let them know that this is wrong. There's no future in this thing. To start telling them that for you to be great in life, greatness comes through hard work, commitment to hard work. If that is the only lesson I'm able to pass across to them by the work of, by virtue of what we're doing, I'm okay. I'm okay. Now, why Nigeria's yearly loss to internet fraud amounted to over $500 million in 1 year. In 1 year to internet fraud. According to, this is not even my report, this is report of Nigeria Communications Company, NCC. I mean Communications Commission, NCC. Now for context, what we call the BEC, the Business Email Compromise scam, as a category of cybercrime, is a prominent nuisance as it accounts for 40% of all cybercrimes losses across the world, and is one of the top 4 major cybercrime threats. Do you know now all over the world that cybercrime is the 3rd largest GDP, attracts the 3rd largest GDP in the world? Go and do your research. Attracts as much as $14 trillion, the 3rd largest GDP, after US, China, is cybercrime. And you want us to sit down here and close our eyes to that? According to the FBI report, between 2018 and 2021, over $43 billion was lost in BECs globally. And according to the email security website, Africa accounts for 60% of all the BEDs actors, not victims, people perpetrating this act. Africa accounts for 60%, and of all the BED actors in a regional distribution level, while Nigeria accounts for approximately 50% of all the BECs actors globally. 60% for Africa. Out of that 60%, Nigeria has taken 50%. The remaining 10 shared among several countries. And you think we should close our eyes to that? This is just a bit of what we have discovered. This is just a bit of what we are facing. I've known people have come here weeping. They went to borrow money and they started businesses. And some of these guys penetrated their platform and they destroyed their business. And they had to fold up with debt overnight. Nigerians. Alhaji, if anyone has fallen victim of this Yahoo thing we are talking about, you understand the enormity of this problem. I was hearing with the judges now. Of course, I was even talking to them about this issue of restraining order and all of that they grant, as if people drink water. Because I don't understand. It's only in this part of the world that a state agency will be stopped perpetually from carrying out its statutory mandate. I've never seen it happen. Anyway. We got an alarm. A judge. She has been saving money for 4.5 years or 5 years. The daughter got an admission for postgraduate studies in the UK. She needed to pay £4,500. It's advance payment. She told me herself that she has been saving that money for almost 5 years. Suddenly, in one first sweep, under 1 minute, her account was hacked. And that money was taken away. 24 hours before that, the money was supposed to be transferred for the payment of the tuition. In the same state where we have been stopped from carrying out investigation. So she made a frantic call to one of my officers there. So I asked, which state is that? When the officer called me, he said, so state. I said, but did you tell the judge that we have a perpetual restraining order from investigating? He said, no. Eventually I spoke with her. He said, no, my brother, we didn't know about this thing, blah, 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 all of that. Even that order is not as if we can. I said, assuming the same bank that, owns the platform where your account was hacked, The same bank got a restraining order against us. Overnight, we had to do what we needed to do. Eventually, we got the money back under 24 hours. Wow. I said, now, my Lord, you are a victim. You now would understand what it means to join this crusade. When we're shouting left, right, and center, stop, let us join hands. Let's see. Because tomorrow you can be a victim. Your brother is coming from America, wants to start a business, and one 17-year-old boy just sat down somewhere in Mushin or Pape, and just swipe off the entire capital. The following day, the person will run back to where it's coming from. It doesn't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen anywhere. I brought in my Lagos office a 17-year-old boy. I was sharing also with them, who is studying history, 200 level. He's not doing anything science. Nothing science. He studied history and anthropology. How many of you studied that in school? The guy sat in my office in Lagos and demonstrated some things to me on my laptop. He asked for my account, my number. He knows my number. I gave him my number. Through my number, I got my BVN. He said, "Okay, he now mentioned the name of my account number to me at the bank." I didn't tell him anything. Yes. 17-year-old boy, 200 level student, studying history and anthropology. No, like that's not even the issue. The problem is, I see crime in that. I also see opportunities in it. So if you leave these guys, if we don't make them know that this thing they are doing is wrong, if you leave them, they will continue to see that thing as a culture, as a way of life to make money. If I don't investigate them, if I don't prosecute them, now what we do, on our own, we plead for light sentences for them. Because it's also going to be wrong for us to close our eyes. We plead for light sentences. Why? So that we can reorientate them. And that's part of the things we're doing. What joy will I derive in sending a 19-year-old boy to jail? You have destroyed his future, you have destroyed his career. Most times they give them options of fine and all of that after conviction. So we bring them back, we lecture them, we talk to them. This particular boy, when he was done, I said, look, Oga, I can make 10 million now. He said, I will demonstrate to you, I will move money from your account to my account now. I said, no, don't that in my office. Don't let them trace that to this place. Don't. And he was actually ready to do it. In fact, when he opened the system and he was like, I didn't give him the key to my laptop. And he had access. He forgot that he was even in my office. He forgot I was around him. He was just, he got lost in that art. And I said, okay, now, why do you do this? Why? You know what he told me? He says both parents are farmers. They couldn't go to farm because of insecurity. He has two younger ones, one in GS2 and one in SS2. He's the one feeding his parents. He's the one responsible for the payment of the tuition of his younger ones. So what do we do? In as much as I want to do my job, like I said, I saw a big gate in that guy. I said, okay, from today, if you are able to get out of this, we will do our work. And whatever happens, I will certainly take up the responsibility of your schooling. Told my family, we are going to do that. I spoke to one of my friends who is also ready to help to take up the schooling of the SSS2 guy. So I'm still looking for someone who will take up the one for the GS2. Maybe Sakuna will help me do that. So these are the challenges we are facing. So for people to just sit down out there and begin to condemn EFCC, they don't even have an iota of what we're doing. You don't even understand the enormity of the problems. You don't. Now we are coming up with what we call the Cybercrime Research Center as part of the project in our new academy, where we'll bring some of these boys during the vacation, the way they are capturing them, the way we have 419 training school. We're also going to come up with a hub that will help us to channel those skills. You can imagine somebody who never studied science. Imagine his proficiency in handling systems, hacking websites. Now, assuming that guy that skill is channeled towards positive things, you can imagine the contribution he will make towards the economic development. So those are things we're doing. Those are the innovations we are bringing into this work. Secondly, I also want to let you know, in addition to some of this restructuring agenda, the development in certain sectors of the economy, particularly illegal mining. We are going very seriously into the area of illegal mining. Gentlemen, if you see what Nigeria loses every day to illegal mining, you will weep for this country. And these are areas where a lot of people don't even understand how the process is involved. So I'm talking to you. In fact, one of my key officers that I now brought in as my chief of staff is doing so much in that area, in his former zone in Ilorin. As at the last count, how many trucks of mineral resources have we seized?
40, sir.
We have over 40. You know what that means? Of lithium and all kinds of expensive raw natural resources. Over 40 trucks. Nigerians are the ones doing it for them. Taking them to the mining sites, doing the excavation, doing the transportation, doing the loading. They must have passed through ports to ship that thing out. So we are seriously going into that. We are going to prosecute them. In fact, we started some prosecutions as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We're going to give you details of how much we are able to recover from that. We have started recovering money. Finally, I also want to give you the correct position as regards, in respect of Yahaya Bello's case. As regards his case. We have put out a publication there. I hope most of you have seen it. Our position. No, there is no law that EFCC has violated. How I wish our opinion leaders can just take time to understand what we are doing. Right here with me, I have the copy of the judgment of the Kogi State High Court. The man approached the High Court for the enforcement of his fundamental rights. And concluding his judgment, in fact, rather than disobeying the law, we have obeyed. Honorable Justice Issa Jamin Abdullahi, a man I respect so much, and I was so smart, a man. I will read to you the last 2-3 paragraphs of his judgment. He said, I am under no illusion that under the laws of this country and having regard to the provisions of the EFCC Act 2004, the Commission cannot be restrained from carrying out criminal investigation and prosecution of any citizen of this country. However, the exercise of these powers is subject to the overriding provisions of the Constitution or any subsisting order of court, and he quoted some judgments, IGP versus Uba, and so on. And he went further to say that the applicant having established, that was Yahaya Bello, established infringement or threatened infringement of his right. He didn't say infringement, or threatened infringement of his right by the respondent, which was EFCC, is now entitled to benefit from the long-standing principle and legal maxim, ubi jus, ibi remedium, as it is central to the cardinal principle of administration of justice, that where injury is established or imminent, there must always be a remedy. And he quoted some other judgments. The applicant, no doubt, is entitled to the grant of some protective reliefs. While I am inclined to grant the orders sought by the applicant in this application, I can only grant them subject to what is permissible under our laws. It has been repetitively made clear in this judgment that the respondent cannot be restrained, as EFCC, from exercising its statutory mandate to investigate and prosecute persons or authorities reasonably suspected of having committed financial crimes as obligated under its Establishment Act. Accordingly, I will make no such order. And he gave us some citations. And if I may add, prosecution. Now, looking at the orders sought by the applicant, I am inclined to grant them subject to some alterations. which in my view will make the justice of this case as in following terms. Another is hereby granted, enforcing the fundamental rights of the applicant, that was Yahaya Bello, to liberty and freedom of movement and fair hearing by restraining the respondent, that was EFCC, by themselves, their agents, servants, or privies, from continuing to harass, threaten, to arrest or detain, or in any manner whatsoever arresting, detaining, or persecuting the applicant, or I think they wanted to write prosecuting the applicant, on the basis of criminal charges now pending before the Federal High Court. We had filed our charges there. Now, without prejudice to the power of the said Federal High Court to make any other as it may deem just in the determination of the rights of the applicant and the respondent as may be submitted to them, to her for consideration and determination. Another is hereby granted, directing the respondent to bring before the said Federal High Court. It was Kogi State High Court that directed the EFCC enforcer to go and file a charge against him, as against what is being touted out there. Another is hereby granted to EFCC, the respondent, to bring before the said Federal High Court or any such appropriate court such criminal charge, allegation, or complaint in respect whereof the applicant is reasonably believed by the respondent to have committed any offense, subject of his jurisdiction, provided that his respondent shall not invite, arrest, or detain the applicant on account of a reasonable belief that the applicant has committed any financial crime, without first obtaining the leave of a superior court of record, which is Federal High Court, where we have filed our charge, especially having regard to the antecedent of the respondent in the manner it has managed its engagement with the applicant. Remember the case we had with his chief of, was he chief of staff? Was he chief of staff? His cashier, his government house cashier, the guy that was bringing the billions. I'm so passionate about the need for us to move forward in this country. A sitting governor, because he knows he's going, you move money. The particulars of offense is there. It's before court. Go and check it. Apply for our processes, please. You will get some of these particulars of offense there. Move money directly from government to bring the change. Use it to pay the child school fee in advance. In advance. Dollars. How much? 70 what?
Total is over almost 800.
In dollars, yes. In dollars. $72,000 or thereabout. $720,000, sorry. $720,000 in advance. In anticipation that he was going to leave government house. In a poor state like Kogi. And you want me to close my eyes to that? Under the guise of saying I'm being used. Used by who? At this stage of my life? Used by who? By who? For crying out loud. I assumed office here. I didn't initiate the case. I inherited the case file. I called for the case file. I called for the report. And I said, look, there are issues here. Do you know on my honor, I put a call across to him, which ordinarily I'm not supposed to do, just to honor him as a governor, as a immediate past governor. Sir, there are issues. I've seen this case file. Can you just come? Let us clarify these issues. I'm under camera. He said, sir, I thank you, my brother. I know, but I can't come. There's one lady, I don't know what her name is, maybe a senator, that she learned she had set, she has surrounded the EFCC with over 100 journalists, to come and embarrass him and intimidate him and all kind of stuff. I said, okay, if that is your fear, I'm going to pass you through my own gate, special man's gate. You will come to my floor. We will accord you that respect. I will invite my operatives. They will come and interrogate you or interview you in my own office. What could be more honorable than that? In my own office. To allay the fear. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You know what he said? But can't they come to my village? That's what he told me. Can't they come to my village to come and say, I told you. He also got it. He sent a message to him. My director of investigation sent a message to him. Some people will say we are handing him, we are harassed. Let's be fair on this. Look, we need the FCC. We need this institution to survive. We need this institution to survive. I'm telling you. So many victims that we have wiped tears off their eyes. People that they have swindled and all of that in their millions. How much are we going to say? Every day we keep recovering money for victims. Every day. In my 6 months, we have recovered close to 120 billion. Over 1,600 convictions. Somebody will now, those we are convicted, are they not human beings? Does he have two heads? Even if I'm going to lose the case at the end of the day, submit yourself to the rule of law. Let me be sure that, look, I don't get convictions. My job is to investigate and prosecute. Conviction is the responsibility of the court. So nobody should come and blame me. I didn't get conviction. Mine is to do my work diligently and leave it to the judiciary. Yeah. For civil society to follow up too. Yeah. It's not within my power to convict anybody or to go and lock anybody up. It's not. My law does not allow me to go and be taking it happy. Oh, come on. For what? So at that point I said, look, this is, and I kept quiet. Nobody talked to him anymore. After he had refused the invitation, we continue with our work. After all, we don't even need him to come and make statement before we can even file a charge. If we are sure of our, the credibility of our work. So we have gathered all the necessary documentary evidence. We have prepared our processes. We file a charge. So come and answer to your charge. He refused to come and make statements here. But that does not stop me from filing my charge. And will he also refuse to come and answer that charge? We are talking of over 80 billion naira, gentlemen, that belongs to the people of Kogi, allegedly stolen. Allegedly stolen. So come and tell us, you didn't steal this money, period. Is it today? The EFCC have lost some cases. Yes. I'm not sure, I won't condemn myself for that. The EFCC have lost some cases. Some of them are walking the street as we free men now today. And EFCC has also won some cases. I didn't promise Nigeria that we'll be winning all the cases I take to court. It's practically impossible. Even in the American system, where they have very tight, and responsive, they don't do that. You can't get 100% conviction on your cases. It doesn't happen. In my short period, I have had cause to arraign 2 past governors. Nigerians don't remember that. We have had cause to arraign Obiano in this country. The man came, he went to court, surrendered himself. We gave him his passport, he went abroad, came back honorably, went to court, submitted to the jurisdiction of the court. On the day of arraignment, the court granted him bail. He's walking free now. We are in court together. Simple. That's the way it is. Simple. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, who had left government house how many years ago? I said, look, this case must not die. Give me all these high-profile cases. We'll review them. There is a predication here. We are going to court. I can't tell you the pressure. We eventually filed our charge. He came, presented himself before the court. He was also granted bail. The matter is ongoing. See, the problem is, if we allow this thing to go this way, I don't have the moral right to run after anybody to say I want to investigate anybody in Nigeria. We better proscribe the EFCC. If anybody will be taking us to clean us because they telling us we are flouting law. Which law did I flout here? I've read it to you now. Which law did I flout? Now, when we filed the charge, I wasn't the judge. The judge saw predication in our case, and he gave us, this is it, he gave us a warrant of arrest. A Federal Republic of Nigeria, not even EFCC. In other words, this is binding on all forces, all law enforcement forces in Nigeria. Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Yahaya Bello. Anywhere you see him, arrest him and present him before this court. This is our order. This is the enrolled order. Pursuant to even the pronouncement of the High Court of Kogi. So where have we gone wrong? What has EFCC gone wrong? But I understand some of the people that we thought are crusaders, they are on the payroll of the man. And that's the truth. We are investigating it. Everyone who was involved in obstructing the arrest will be brought to book. Yes. If you are a governor today, you can't be a governor forever. We are building a case against everyone involved. Whether you are a governor or not, we are building a case. Let the whole public hear. We are building a case against those who obstructed justice. You are sitting, you have immunity today, you won't have immunity forever. Not at all. This mess must stop. The president came out. What else do we want the president to do? A serving minister is summoned the courage based on our investigation report. Suspended the DG and told us, look, EFCC, do your work. A whole attorney general, for the first time in the history of this country, we are working together with the EFCC. He issued a statement, a stern statement, saying that EFCC must not be obstructed in the course of carrying out their responsibility. Attorney General of the Federation, supporting us, working with us. CG of Immigration issued a statement. And some people will go and carry, pack, I don't want to use the meaning word, from Zuba and from, Agege. And they were carrying flag as if you don't have shame in this country. The world is looking at us. Over how much? To sold out your conscience. Sold out our conscience. As if we don't have conscience anymore. And this will be talking about building a nation. We'll be talking about fight. Is this the way to build a nation? I'm not against criticism. Look, sir, take us to cleaners if we do anything wrong. Before you even take me to cleaners, I would have taken myself to cleaners. I exercise patience. We would have gone after this man since January. Okay, after January, how are you? You are here. I had to exercise patience up until this time. I told my men, calm down, calm down. Let us follow due process. I'm not going to go after him if I don't get this order. And it was not until the day we got this order. I didn't go after this man. Do you know when we got there? I said mount surveillance. We were there as early as 7 a.m. Mount surveillance. Don't cause breakdown of law and order. Our people mounted surveillance. So when eventually we got this order across to them, we were supposed to move in. That was when the governor came with his vehicle. Even though they are denying now that he didn't come. Come on. When we have all the video evidence, the forensic evidence we have with us. And with this man equipped. We met over 30 armed policemen. About 10 CTU, counterterrorism. I don't know what, with him. His CSO is a senior DSS official. We met all these people there. I went with my gallant men, over 50 of them, armed to the teeth. We would have exchanged fire. Then if you had done it, there have been casualties. If I've killed 1 or 2 people in the crossfire, Adams, what will you be saying? Will you be proud to come and collaborate with me today? And that's what some people are condemning us for. Why did you break down the house? Why did you? The day I went for my screening, I was at the National Assembly. The issue of the invasion of Okorocha house became an issue. They took me up on that. Gentlemen, we are a sophisticated law enforcement. You are not military. This is EFCC. What we investigate is white-collar crime. There are certain things that may be lawful for us, but may not be expedient. Exchanging fire with other servicemen that day wasn't expedient for me, and nobody would have asked me to do that. I would have done it. I'm a lawyer. If I've killed 1 or 2 people or another uniformed man because I wanted to arrest somebody who committed white-collar crime, what would I do if I want to arrest a terrorist? You employ violence, people will condemn you. You are putting human face into the work you do. People will still condemn you. So where do you want me to stay? Was it not worse for him to have even run away that day? Because if he had surrendered himself or submitted himself to us that day, we wouldn't have declared him wanted. Do you know the implication of somebody being declared wanted? Usually we do quarter of a page, but because of his attitude, we have to do full page. I wouldn't mind using my salary. You did it on Arise? You sure? We are coming there. Or you know where the man is? We are not stopping there. It's been watch listed all over the world. He can only run. They said there's no law in this country that we are following. Let's all of us declare that we are in state of pariah. Everybody go and do what they like. Like I said, I don't mind the outcome of this case, but the right thing must be done.
If we don't see this case through, I won't have any moral right to accuse anybody of corruption in Nigeria. I will resign. Do you know how much has been lost to corruption in this country? Do you know how much? So that day we had to calm down, just let them finish their shenanigans. And we followed the law. We did what was right. The matter came up today, you are aware. The judge forced the SCN who represented him to get the service. So we have served him now to produce him in the next hearing. We will get there. It could take time. It may be rough. I don't mind the criticism. But we will get there. So it's important for us to understand this thing we are doing. The world is looking at us. They are looking at some of our civil society, some of your colleagues in the media, in the civil society, supporting some of these obnoxious acts. And they wonder, where are we going as a nation? One of the most respected legal practitioners in Nigeria is the current Attorney General of Nigeria, Honorable Attorney General. Very respected everywhere. If he could come up with such a stern statement in support of EFCC, we must understand that we are doing the right thing. It's not everybody that can be swayed or influenced by money. No. By the grace of God, some of us have passed that level. We do the right thing, and we see to a logical conclusion. Like I said, I don't mind what the verdict will be eventually, but for me not to prosecute this case, then I'd rather go and withdraw case against Abdul Fattah Ahmed. I will go and withdraw case against Obiano. All the pending cases in court, even against Idris Ahmed. Because there's no moral justification for doing all those cases. If some people have suddenly seen a criminal suspect as a saint, that we are harassing, we are hounding, from where to where? There's nothing personal there. So the question is, why is he not submitting himself to the law? That's the question. Why is he not appearing before? Do they kill people there? Why is he not coming out? Why? Why? That's our position on Yahaya Bello. Finally, I also like to report to us that we will continue our work toward the stimulation of the economy, and I promise you that. We observe due process in doing whatever we do. Do you know the Binance case we are currently handling now? Working on, that has helped us to bring down this madness going on in the forex market. Suddenly we discovered that there are even people within the system who are doing worse than Binance. They call them the P2P and all of that. If you noticed, in the last 42 days ago, the dollar had started appreciating again. Maybe you didn't notice that. There was stability for 24 hours. And then the Naira got devalued again by about 20-25 Naira. I don't know whether you noticed that. It was due to activities of some of these guys on P2P platform. KuCoin. Some of you must have seen those posts on social media. It was shocking. Just yesterday, I had cause to freeze over 300 accounts. One of those accounts, we discovered that the guy that traded a volume of over 50 billion in the last 1 year. Nobody knew outside the financial regulation. See, this work is a serious work. We are here working 18 hours. These are my people. 18 hours. We get to 7 a.m. Some of us don't close until 12 midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. That's how we work. We are not saying Nigerians should praise us because that is the work we sign for. But where we deserve some small credits, let's give it. We are human beings like other Nigerians. Not that because we can talk, some people can speak grammar, we just condemn everything we are doing. And come on, it's unfair. Very, very unfair on us. Over 300 accounts in illicit forest trading that would have led to another crash in the next 1 week if we didn't move yesterday. Get an order to freeze those accounts. Somebody will come and tell us, what is your business with forest transactions? Some people are happy. They take pleasure in seeing this country boiling. And I've come to realize that in the course of this work I do, sir. Some people are deliberately happy. They want to see things go bad, from bad to worse. Don't be surprised. There are people who are doing that every day. When things are bad, they promote it. Well, when there is an improvement, nobody talks. They keep quiet. And much of this work also lies in our hands. So we must find a way of working together. There are things that may not be expedient for me to divulge. Yes, you respect us for that. Whatever I give us, let's look at it. Also I discovered that some of us, with due respect to us here, some people mischievously will go and take whatever I say out and twist it. The other time we had a pally, the only thing one of you was able to bring out was that I said 7 out of 10 Nigerian young people or students are 419. That's the only thing he was able to pick out of so many good things we discussed. So many. So many. That will tell you how mischievous some people can be. But reform-minded people, few of us, who are committed to this cause, we will not allow them to succeed. Because of our tomorrow, because of the tomorrow of our children, we must not allow them to succeed. You are free to challenge me on anything I'm doing. We are colleagues, we are friends now. Take me up on some of these things. And we'll explain to you some of the things we are doing. There are ways to help us, to support us, give us information. That's how you build a nation. Some people now, just mere seeing EF, even without the CC at the back, they start any abuses. Just EF, without even knowing why EFCC name is mentioned. And they have come, useless people. They can't work. They are running after Yahoo boys. That's the only thing they know how to do. Come on. Elijah has been with us for years, right from my days as chief of staff. He understands the way we work here. He knows what we are passing through. Do you know the attack I face every day? From people that ordinarily should be supporting you. Do you know how many, what do you call those racial places? Yes, how many places they have taken my name to? Invoking all kinds of evil spirit. But it will not work. Shu Sakuna, do you agree with me? And in any case, even if I die now, in my 50s, nobody will say I die young. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. We must do it, all of us. And I'm going to repeat it again. If EFCC fails, all of us have failed. So don't think that Allah has failed. Don't mind him. Don't mind. We will see the end of EFCC. How can we be proud as Nigerians to be saying that we will see the end of EFCC? How? It should be our responsibility to ensure that we fulfill this mandate, so that posterity will speak for all of us. In your own time, you supported this crusade, and for the first time, we succeeded. Don't give us undue, support that we don't deserve. Let us just be objective in whatever we do. Let's be objective. I've given you some tips now. Go back, research into some of these things. For example, I've mentioned illegal mining. Research into some of these things. See how you can help us. Throw the challenge at us and see if we will not act. There is nobody that will not be touched, though. Nobody who has ever dipped his hand into the treasury that we know, we have evidence on, that will not be touched. And I promise Nigerians that. We are going to bring equity. We are not going to investigate everybody, but we will bring equity and justice into it. If I can do Obiano from the southeast, if I can do Abdul Fattah Ahmed, if we are doing Idris Ahmed, if I can do my own kinsman, Oluwagunloye, Baba, who support, do you know people have been calling me, abusing me? Okay, we are doing it, we will do it. So why can't I do Yahaya Bello? Why? Even in EFCC, we balance things up. Because this place belongs to all Nigerians. So that you think, because that has always been the mind of people, is a particular people, they are focusing. No, nobody is focused on any tribe here. And as much as we have the evidence, we do it. I'm a Yoruba man, I'm the chairman today. My director of investigation is an Hausa man. My chief of staff is an Igbo man. Deliberately, we will have to balance things up. So, if I focus on the southeast, you will say, oh, God, what are you doing now? Why are you holding my people? If I say it is not, Shuka will say, oh, God, what's all this now? If there is anything you need clarification of, please don't hesitate to get across to me. If it's difficult for you getting across, get Wilson, get my chief of staff, get the director of investigation. They are all here. Let us do this work. Let us take up this challenge, and we will succeed. I tell you, we will succeed. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Can I sit down?
Thank you very much, sir. I think the Executive Chairman has covered all inviting at least one of our friends from the CSO to give us some views from that sector.
My colleagues in civil society and our respected journalists, let me start position to first and foremost solidarize with the EFCC and any passionate, committed, patriotic, sincere Nigerians will agree with him, because this is not about him.